All right, earlier in one of my lessons, I presented Daniel chapter 9, verse 24 to 27, and that was called the 70-week prophecy, in which Israel was put on probation, not for a literal 70 weeks, but a symbolic 70 weeks, in which a day equals a year, and it came out to be 490 years. So, and the starting point was in 457 BC, and the 490 years ended in 34 AD. What happened in 34 AD? Well, they stoned Stephen to death, and they declared that they would never ever accept Jesus as the Messiah, and they forbid all Jews from ever reading Daniel 9, verse 24 to 27. So who is the Israel of Revelation? Who is the Israel of Romans 11, where Paul says that all of Israel will be saved? Well, Paul also says that there's neither Jew nor Greek. They are all one in Jesus Christ. So the Israel of Romans 11 is not the literal Israel you see in the Middle East, but it's those who believe in Jesus Christ. Because he says there in Romans 11 that Israel was cut off, that was in 34 AD, and that the Gentiles were grafted in. And then he says that Israel can be grafted back in if they accept Jesus. So it's no longer a corporate Israel, a nation of Israel that are God's people, but it's those who accept Jesus Christ. So it's individual Israelites, individual Jews, and individual Greeks or Gentiles who accept Jesus that are now Israel. I call them spiritual Israel because they're not literal Israel. So the Israel of Revelation is symbolic of the believer. It's not literal, as many in Christianity teach today. So if Israel was literal in Revelation, then Babylon would have to be literal. 666 would have to be literal. The image to the beast would have to be literal. The 144,000 would have to be literal. And the 12 tribes would have to be literal. But the problem is, there's only 3 tribes left. That's Benjamin, Judah, and Levi. The other 10 tribes were destroyed by the Assyrians, and you will not find them anymore. So who are the 12 tribes? Every believer belongs in one of those tribes because of their character. Because if you read earlier, Jacob, when he had his 12 sons there, he gave each one a characteristic. And we all as believers belong in one of those characteristics. So when we go to the New Jerusalem in heaven, every believer will go under one of the doors with that characteristic belonging to that tribe. Isn't that incredible? So there is no longer a literal Israel, but it's the believer.